Points out going forward, because if you recall, one of the issues that came up during the OSP's press conference yesterday was the ill health of Ken Ofori Attah. Yesterday we got to know that Ken Ofori Attah has been diagnosed of cancer. Now the details of this letter gives further information that it is prostate cancer. No, but the stage of that prostate cancer as well is what we do not know. And then I engage Martin Pebo, private legal practitioner, on this matter as to whether the notification of this particular health condition of Ken Ofori Attah to the special prosecutor, that he's now been diagnosed of cancer, is not enough for the special prosecutor to have, as it were, not declared him a wanted man, and then also the Interpol red alert issued against or on Ken Ofori Attah yesterday. And this is what he had to say.
Absolutely. They didn't do enough. You see, they didn't do enough. That's why Mr. Jabe asked that, do you know the number of people who walk around with cancer and are managing it? You say, do you know the number of people who walk around with cancer and are managing it? So I'm not a doctor, but from the little we've read around, we have different types of cancer. And even in terms of the potency of it, you hear malignant, malignant, and then you hear benign, and all those things, and at different terms. So it shows the aggression. All these things, you needed to show details, or else you know, God forbid, but is it the aggressive type, the one that Charlie is ravaging, moving very fast, rapidly, causing him harm, and so he needs constant doctor support, etc. Reveal it. I was telling earlier on in
So that's Martin Pebo. There is a private legal practitioner, and his thoughts on this particular one, that in his view, the lawyers of Ken Ofori Attah did not do enough to convince the special prosecutor to not declare their client a wanted man, even with the notification of he being diagnosed with cancer as of yesterday, that the update that we got from the special prosecutor. Let's stay a bit further on this. And private legal practitioner Lawrence BOAMPONG WIREKO is joining us on the telephone right now. Lawyer Lawrence BOAMPONG WIREKO, thank you so much for joining us here on Health Edition.
Thank you, Mr. Ocansey. And greetings to your listeners.
Perfect. Appreciate your time. Also being joined by Dr. Victor Doke. He's an international relations expert and also a security analyst. Dr. Doke, appreciate your time. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Alfred. Good day, and good day to the other colleagues.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll start off with you, Counsel. The position of Ken Ofori Attah's lawyers is that, to the extent that, the OSP had knowledge of his latest medical diagnosis, as in he being diagnosed with cancer, he should have then not declared him a wanted man because of that update, and that the OSP is engaged in indecent haste. I don't know what your thoughts is on this. Is it one that you align with Ken Ofori Attah's lawyers on this?
Thank you, Mr. Ocansey. It's difficult for me, right, to agree with the lawyers of Mr. Ken Ofori Attah. I say so because if you look at the trajectory of this case with OSP, if you recall, when OSP first declared Mr. Ken Ofori Attah wanted sometime in February, a number of us, said that, look, he should have taken his time and whatever. Then there was communication from these same lawyers, right? And his name was taken from the wanted list. Per the account of OSP, there was this agreement between the lawyers of Mr. Ken Ofori Attah and OSP. And there was this common agreement that Mr. Ofori Attah was going to be in the country sometime in May. You get it? Then he will appear before OSP on the second day of June 2025. Now, per the account we heard from OSP yesterday, it was clear that OSP received a letter from the lawyers of Mr. Ken Ofori Attah sometime on 28 May 2025, about 4 days or so before 2nd. Now, what letter did they furnish Mr. Kisia Jabin with? Mr. Kisia Jabin said they only brought a letter stating his medical condition, which he maintains it is their say-so. What he means by that is that the purported medical report or analysis they supplied him with or they furnished him with was not certified by a medical doctor. So, per Mr. Kisia Jabin, that medical report or whatever, he has his own, disbelief about it, whether it was authored by a medical doctor or otherwise. That is number one. Number two, what has been circulating in the media today, the OSP has come out to issue a disclaimer to it that they were not finished with that medical report. They were giving some information to the current medical condition of Mr. Ken Ofori Attah. And this is a criminal investigation that they are doing. So if you tell OSP that Mr. Ken Ofori Attah has this medical condition and you don't give him enough information from a medical doctor, it will be difficult for the OSP to just believe that, you said this as the ones representing him, so I should let it go. Because they knew this way back in February. You get it? So I believe the lawyer should have done more. If they wanted OSP, to exercise some kind of restraint by declaring him wanted, they should have given more information and they should have acted within time. They came too late, if you ask me. The information they gave to Mr. Kisia Jabin was not enough. And the timing, in my view, was also wrong.
I see. And it's a point that, in fact, a number of lawyers who've spoken to also corroborate. But then his lawyers referenced this letter. And Dr. Doke, I'm going to come to you. But then, just for the benefit of our listeners who have not seen this letter from Mayo Clinic, that's where Ken Ofori Attah is reported to be receiving medical treatment as we speak. Now, that letter has gone viral as of this morning. And if you go on our Facebook page right now at 3FM927, we're going to put there right now the Mayo Clinic letter, which has occasioned the response from the special prosecutor that we read earlier. This letter is dated the 15th of May, 2025. And it is addressed to it says, to whom it may concern. And this is from Kenneth Ofori Attah, Mayo Clinic. It has Ken Ofori Attah there. And it says, Dear Sir, Madam, I am writing to inform you that Mr. Ofori Attah has undergone an MR-guided biopsy and has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. A surgical intervention has been deemed necessary after the testing and MRI and the biopsy procedures in March 2025. So in this letter, Counsel, that March 2025 letter, that detailed that Ken Ofori Attah was supposed to go through a surgical operation that month, according to this latest letter, it was just an MRI and testing that was done in March. That led to the diagnosis of the prostate cancer that he has now having to go through this medical procedure on the 13th of June. The letter continues, as I indicated in my February letter, this surgical procedure has been scheduled for June 13 with Dr. Paras Shah of the Department of Urology, and he says, sees attached letter. It is hoped that a closer date may open up. Following the procedure, Ken Ofori Attah will require a recovery period before he is able to travel to his home country. So what that actually means is that even after the procedure on June 13, Counsel, he's going to have to stay a bit further. That recovery period has not been prescribed yet in this letter. It says, please feel free to contact me if you require any additional information or have further questions. This is a letter signed by Ahmed Abdurrahim, MD, that's a medical doctor, section of international medicine in Rochester, that is a Mayo Clinic. And his lawyers say that to the extent that this letter indicated that the doctor says he's open to further engagement, the special prosecutor could have engaged the doctor to find out, for instance, when this recovery period will be and when he's likely to return. Does that make sense to you?
Mr. Ocansey, it doesn't at all. At all. You see, you just read the content of the letter. Assuming without admitting that this letter is even before special prosecutor, let's first make the point that special prosecutor has issued a public notice that they have not seen this letter, and they also saw it in the social media. But let's make the point that assuming this letter was even furnished to special prosecutor on the 28th, because we know as a fact that special prosecutor said he received a letter from the lawyers on the 28th day of May. Now, look at the content of the letter. In my view, it even indicts Mr. Ofori Attah. It states that he went for a procedure sometime in where? March. Is that not so? Per the letter. That is the MRI and the biopsies. He did it in March. This means that since March, Mr. Ofori Attah was aware that he was not going to be able to appear before special prosecutor on 2nd June 2025 because the doctor, per his analysis, had informed him that he has to undergo some medical operation sometime in June. So he knew this information. So the question is, what stopped Mr. Ken Ofori Attah and his lawyers from bringing this information to the attention of OSP? Do you get the point? Because this letter, okay, per the date on it is May 14. But he knew this information in respect of his medical condition per the letter in March when he subjected himself to the testing. Do you get it?
Right.
So he was informed in March that he will be going for another medical operation in June. March to June. Look at the duration. So in my view, I don't blame special prosecutor for what he has done.
I see.
Rather, it is Mr. Ken Ofori Attah and his lawyers who did not act timeously to prevent the current position we find ourselves.
Well, Counsel, appreciate it for this. And let me bring in, at this point, Dr. Victor Doke, because that was during the press conference yesterday. The special prosecutor did indicate, apart from declaring Ken Ofori Attah a wanted man, an Interpol red alert has been issued, and the extradition process, he says, has already kick-started. Now, we've seen the wanted notice that was issued by the special prosecutor yesterday. It has some very interesting information on there, and we're going to put that wanted notice back on our Facebook page, just for those of you who have not seen it. It gives a description of Ken Ofori Attah. It says date of birth, 7th November 1958, age 66 years, gender male, eye color black, hair color black, and then also complexion, brown skin. But the possible locations that the special prosecutor gives in this wanted notice, Dr. Victor Doke, United States of America, we know because this Mayo Clinic where he is in the U.S. But then again, he mentions the UK, South Africa, Guyana, Hong Kong, Cayman Islands. I mean, how does this strike you? These possible locations that a special prosecutor provides in this wanted notice, Doc?
Well, thank you very much. So, in making an analysis of the locations the special prosecutor has put out, it can easily tell one that the former finance minister may be in this location. Then ideally, one would come to a conclusion that there may be properties where the said, honorable may likely have his abode or seek medical assistance or whatever assistance in these areas. So it's a thorough work that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has done and ascertained their evidence that Mr. Ken Ofori Attah may likely be in this location for any sort of assistance or even for personal reasons. And henceforth, authorities in these areas could apprehend him and then liaise with authorities here in Ghana for extradition processes to begin.
I see, but then if you look at the Interpol member countries list, I'm on the Interpol website right now. The United States is a member of Interpol, the UK, South Africa, Guyana, they're all members of Interpol. But then Hong Kong and Cayman Islands are not listed on the Interpol member states. So essentially, this Interpol red alert is not going to apply, assuming without admitting that Ken Ofori Attah is in Hong Kong or Cayman Islands, is it not?
No, it won't apply. It only applies where there's an agreement, and as you said, the list. So, for example, if we have an agreement per the Interpol law or extradition law, all those countries that are listed or we have an agreement with will comply with whatever request that we put in. Now, these countries, Hong Kong and others, may on certain grounds, per special request from the OSP or even through our consulates in those countries, effect the arrest. So it will be done on special request per the gravity of the issue. So then, even if per Interpol list they are not on, the said person, anybody, can be arrested on special request through our consulate there, working with the local authorities in those countries.
I see. It's a very important clarity you put out there, because you talk about the request. The special prosecutor's request is that anybody who sees Ken Ofori Attah in these countries listed should contact authorities. And in fact, he has provided some phone numbers in this wanted notice that he published yesterday. And so to the extent that even though Guyana and Hong Kong and Cayman Islands are not member states of Interpol, yes, the Interpol red alert will not apply, but then again, if someone sees him in these two countries, they can still contact local authorities. That is, if the special prosecutor has made any direct appeal to the local authorities of Hong Kong and Cayman Islands that Ken Ofori Attah is a wanted man. That's a caveat, is it not?
Exactly so. Yes, rightly so. And the OSP will do this also with collaboration with the Ghanaian consulate or embassies, if they have embassies there, in those countries. So the embassies or consulates there will have people also on red alert, looking out for Mr. Ken Ofori Attah if he should find himself in those countries. And then the consulate will now liaise with the local security authorities or the police to effect the arrest.
I see. But how is the extradition process going to be based on your understanding of the process as it plays out?
When it comes to this particular countries, those not on the list of the Interpol, what is going to happen is that for the gentleman, if he's found there, because of the warrant here, and then the gravity of the situation, the information has gone into the consulate, and then he's been declared as wanted per crimes he's allegedly to have committed. The authorities there would assist in extraditing the Ken Ofori Attah back home to Ghana. So it is a matter of by hook or crook, and then he will be extradited under the watch and supervision of authorities from Hong Kong or elsewhere that are not on the Interpol list. Now, when you talk about the countries that are on Interpol list, for example, the US and all that, what is going to happen is the OSP will liaise with the embassy okay, Washington. Now, the officials in Washington will pick up the details, liaise with local authorities there, and then the Home Office will likely come in. There will be a process. They can also determine whether the case has been discussed, the gravity of the case doesn't warrant Mr. Ken to come back or not. And based on that, there can be a decision at the Home Office and then the attorneys over there who will represent with regards to ascertaining the gravity of the case, and then the extradition process will now determine. So by and large, it is not just a direct case, okay? The processes have to be followed. So a lot of work would have to be done via the embassy in the host country. And then it is not just automatic that you're going to bring the gentleman in or anybody in. You would have to go through the authorities in there, because you are looking at whether the said gentleman is or has a dual citizenship nobody knows about, or has families who are citizens of the U.S. would trigger issues, okay, would trigger all of these things have to be considered. But in this case, he's not. He's a full-blooded Ghanaian, yet still the process would have to be adhered to. Authorities there would also have to ascertain whether if the said gentleman would need to come down or not. So holistically, it's the gravity of the case, it's how authorities here live with our authorities at Washington and then local authorities in there.
Doc, I appreciate your time on this. I thank you so much for the clarity that you bring to this matter and how the way forward will be. Thank you so much.